Hello everybody, welcome back to All of Fabric 6. We're just doing some old-fashioned travel here. You know what? Back in the lasso, I don't really need them anymore. And speaking of no longer needing things, I think it's probably about time that we got rid of this kind of combo. This Rod of the Skies and the glider. I think we got this on like episode 2? Little shoulder charge there. A wiggle, 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 yeah. A wiggle, 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 yeah. Bet you didn't know kmbles were so funky. So you would have seen there in the beginning that I took a quick trip into the other side, the deeper dark or whatever it's called. You know, down where the warden portal takes you to. And I managed to track down some of those, let's see, what are they called? Soul dust, these guys, the Shattered. And thankfully somebody alluded that you can find those things in the Echoing Forest biome. And it just so happens that the Nature's Compass here will point you right to it, which was super handy. So yeah, just snatched up a few of them, ran them through the mill. You can stay in my backpack there. We can probably get rid of this thing for good, because now we have all the ingredients we need to make the Solar Elytra. It will be unenchanted, but that's okay. We can swap that out for our regular Elytra. And now I believe it's like you can fly without needing rockets. Is that it? No? Yeah, so it says that you have like a random chance of getting a boost or something. So often that you rarely need to carry fireworks. Like a boost now, please. I don't know what's going on there. That's a shame. I'm sure I'll figure it out. It is an extra 4 defense. And just because I'm worried about it falling apart on us, we'll give it some of these enchants. I'm sure we'll figure it out, and I'll have a bit of a look and hopefully have it sussed out by the end of the episode. Hey, that seems to... that's basically like a rocket. So maybe we don't need the fireworks after all, but we can just rely on our Rod of the Skies to give us a boost. All right. So finally getting this Elytra is good because it's part of the recipe here for getting the Angel Ring, which is basically just creative flight. Like, pretty sure we got that. That's cheap. Yep, got that. Now we've got the Solar Elytra. We've just got to do a little bit more Ad Astra and this guy here, get the Ancient Anima, which just happens to be the reward for killing the Night Lich. Found in red towers in cold biomes, locate the towers by following salt stars. Well, may as well tick that off the list as well. And I hope you guys forgive me for doing that deeper dark dimension stuff off camera, but you've all seen me there before. I figured I'd spare you the trip. And if you haven't seen me, well, you're clearly watching these episodes out of order, so that's on you. It's definitely getting chilly. We must be getting close. But look what I just spotted down there. Where was this thing last episode? Jeez. All right, let's take some of these guys on real quick. I know some of these guys are super tough. And hopefully what they drop is really nice loot. Yeah, that's it. I don't want these guys having any escape. So, let's try that again. Yeah, that is definitely the ticket. Look at that, we got a protection 10. We've already got protection 10 on our gear, but we had to go through the whole over-enchanting rigmarole for that. And a feather falling 10, which definitely beats our feather falling 5. And a couple of cool uncraftable potions. Strength, saturation, health bonus. Yeah, I think this spawner here, if you kind of encase it so that they can't fly off on you, I think this is definitely the place to come to get your hands on some gear. Meh. What we're looking for is not this gorgeous tower here, or that one, but I'm like 99% sure that these soul stars point to this monstrosity right here. There it is. Okay, let's make our way to the top. Yes, I've never fought this guy before. Chiseled stone altar. Why are you doing that thing? I had to guess, I'd say a soul star goes in there, right? Yeah, that was pretty intuitive. I'll quickly loot this treasure and then we'll see if we can summon this guy. With the name Night Lich, I suspect you summon it at night time. So I might just play around here for a little bit, killing these guys off. And we'll come back at night time. Put the final one in here. Oh, it changed the day for us. Alright, where is this guy? I'm going to quickly down one of these potions. What the hell? How do I attack? Yikes. Maybe we got to lure it out into the open here. Come here. You know what? It's way too fast for me and I haven't got any range stuff going on. He will not let me get close. In which case, I think what we're going to do is take the Elytra off and get back to this old-fashioned with the hang glider. Because I think if it works on the dragon, it'll work on this guy. Yeah, my range game is just not good enough. Come on, man. That's where if I can get in there, I can probably take care of him in a couple hits. Oh, the chicken. Come here. That's it, that's it. Close combat. Oh, so easy once you get close. So easy. Yeah, wasn't too hard in the end, it turned out. Alright, well, we got these ancient anima. We can use that to make a Staff of Suppression, which blocks mob spawns in 64 block direction. But for that, you need to get the Obsidian Heart, which comes from Obsidolith. But the big thing is, it's an item in the crafting of the Angel Ring. Whew. But it looks like it looks like it consumes those blocks when you summon it in. So I think that's it. I think we get the one fight out of that. One fight, 2 ancient anima. I'm happy with that. All right, let's get to work. Okay, so we're back here at the MI factory, although you wouldn't know by looking at it. They've gone ahead and changed a whole bunch of these textures. Now I don't know what's what or what I'm looking at. That's a furnace. Packer. The macerator. I actually really want to see this in action. No, that's pretty cool. Oh, the high-tech ones look even cooler. That's really cool, although I gotta say, I'm kind of confused by the recipes now. So the dusts look the same, but these things, that's what a circuit board looks like now. That's a transistor. The robot arms and pistons now have a bunch of copper in there, which I guess that makes sense because the motor has copper in it. The copper wires are different. It's going to take me a while to get used to that. Yeah, change is scary, but I'm sure we'll get used to it. I did hear, or I did read on the Discord, that they're going to tweak these textures just a little bit more in the next upgrade. So we'll see. Because, yeah, we're currently playing on 1.8.2. I just upgraded the pack. And this update brings like a few changes. In addition to the retexturing here, they've also gone and added the diet mod, this one, which I think is pretty cool. I think what you get from it is like the more variety of foods you eat, the higher these bars get, the more buffs you get. So currently we've got +2 max health, +1 knockback, +1 armor toughness, etc. And that's like these hearts down here. So without the buffs, we had 3 yellow hearts. Now we have 5. I feel like it's a bit of a missed opportunity to punish people for not having variety. Like maybe if you max all these things out, that's when you're left with your current max stars. You know what I mean? So rather than reward people for eating variety, you punish them for not eating a variety of food. Does that make sense? I don't know. I think that would have been pretty cool. So if we eat some toast now, which you see there is +11.5% grains, and then check back here. Now we have +4 health. It's gone up even more. +2 knockback, +2 armor. Yeah, so if we eat fruits and veggies and stuff and get them all to 100, I'm not sure if sugars are good. Maybe sugars are bad. We'll see. Not a big deal. Another big change that's been introduced in the pack, or should I say has been removed from the pack, is we no longer have botany pots. Yep, they're gone. So that means like our spectrum thing over here, that's all broken. So this whole setup's no longer accumulating the logs and the pigments. We've got like 8,200 of every color pigment down here anyway, so that's probably more than we'll ever need. What else has changed? Right, yep, just check the change logs. There's actually quite a few things that they've added. I'll skip over talking about them, except there will be something that we're going to look at later on today, which is this thing here called the Growth Chamber, which is a new multi-block, part of MI, which, can we get the recipes for it? Aha, which gets you things like wood and saplings and leaves or whatever, but it takes electricity, and yeah, you basically put all the saplings in there. But the reason why we want to use it is if you put Croptopia fertilizers in there, you have a chance of basically getting every crop in the game. So Farmer's Delight, Croptopia, do we see anything else? And all like the fruits and nuts and things like that to make trees, you do it with a Croptopia mulch. And another block is the electric composter, which has these two recipes of turning tree fertilizer and just an empty bag, pretty cheap stuff, into the fertilizer and the mulch. Why am I emitting all these particles? I don't know. I hope it's not too distracting. We're going to have to live with it. All right, time to jump into a little bit of work. We're on company time here after all. So apologies to those people who are kind of like, if you haven't been following along since the beginning, I suspect this MI stuff is a little bit confusing. I was going to say that the thing I love about MI is only I know where everything is. Like, this is a bit of a messy system that is a bit hard to decipher, and really only the person that builds the factory can understand the factory. But with these new textures, perhaps we're in the same boat. I don't really know what's going on behind me either. But what I'll try and do is every little foray we have into MI, I'll try and keep it like crisp and short and to the point, so it's easy to follow along. But if MI isn't your thing, or if you haven't been keeping up with the base progression so far, maybe just check out the timestamps down in the description and just skip to the next bit. All right, for those who are sticking around, today what I want to do is just basically get stainless steel drills up and running, which shouldn't be too hard. Famous last words, but it looks like maybe that would be getting annealed copper up and running for the advanced motors. And yeah, just a short production line for all the stainless steel goodies. Now, stainless steel you get through the vacuum freezer, which is our last multi-block in the middle age here, the mid-game age, in the Middle Ages, to get to then like unlock the ability to join the late game and start constructing digital circuits. Perhaps you heat exchange it later on, but we're not there yet. Really, all we can do with it now is a vacuum freezer. So you get stainless steel hot ingots to vacuum freeze. That's made with stainless steel dust. And it looks like the recipe for stainless steel dust comes from mixing these four guys. We obviously have iron and nickel, chromium and manganese. I don't know if we've got any of them. We've got crushed chromium. So the only way that it looks like we can get the chromium dust is through the tiny stuff, which requires this chromium hydrochloric solution, which in turn comes from hydrochloric acid and the chromium crushed stuff, which we have plenty of. And you get the acid by hydrogen we got by using some chlorine, but the chlorine requires chromium hydrochloric solution. Like, it requires, for the output, it requires this as an input. And the only other recipe, the only other way to get it is with salt. I think what's happening is this looks like I thought this might be a non-MI related pathway to get there, but I think that's just unification. I think there is an MI variant of salt that's just been unified with a bewitchment variant, and that this is the intended way to first start up the whole cycle, I think. Right? I'm going to bet it is. Okay, if we did this correctly, we should be getting chromium dust out of all this. It's a little bit complicated, it may be boring, but I think it's worth emphasizing because this setup is a little bit different to the rest of what we've done. This whole kind of system can jam up if it can't get rid of its hydrogen and chlorine. And like last episode you saw, we're just trashing the fluids that we don't want, so all our oxygen being produced just gets trashed. We could do that here, but that's really wasteful. Instead, what I've opted for is to give an output priority where necessary. So this is like a nice tower where you get the inputs on the bottom and the output's going to come at the top. So we're going to request salt dust, which will output sodium and chlorine. The chlorine is going to not get auto-ejected. It's actually going to come out on the pipe, and you'll see why in a second. That goes up here to be shared with hydrogen, which we're already producing, so I just snaked a line over. Those two together, hydrochloric acid. We have no uses for that really, so we're just auto-ejecting it into this chemical reactor, which is going to combine with chromium crushed ore that it gets from the network. And then that's going to auto-extract its fluid up here, which is going to electrolyze it into chromium tiny dust, which is going to auto-extract its items into a packer and give us our chromium dust. But this guy will stop working if it can't get rid of these fluids. Hence the output or extract priority I've given to these pipes. It'll always try and force out from there before it feeds from here. Not sure if it's going to work. We'll see. I need to rethink how I've done the pipes a little bit. I'm not going to fuss over that on camera. Let's just for now bring that over. It eats the salt, makes the thing, and with any luck this will just work and we'll have the big stuff coming out of there. Okay, on to the next one. We have iron, we have nickel, and the manganese dust you seem to only be able to get from the tiny dust. And we're not going to get into Tech Reborn here, so this is our only real option. We need to get the tiny stuff. The tiny stuff comes only from electrolyzing manganese sulfuric solution which comes from sulfuric acid and the crushed dust. Crushed dust, easy enough. The only recipe is from centrifuging raw iron, so we've just got that set up down here. Easy peasy. But the sulfuric acid, thankfully, we're already producing. Cool. Yeah, and just to make sure that this bottom guy here, the centrifuge, doesn't jam up with iron dust, I've given it an extract priority. So lower priorities first, only into higher priorities. And that goes up here into a higher priority for the, in fact, that needs to be input and output, doesn't it? Higher priority in that little iron dust slot there. Hopefully we're good. I might have to have a think about this, but okay, we have manganese coming in. Why aren't you producing the chromium? Oh, yeah, you've got the wrong salt dust in there. It needs to be this recipe. So it looks like what it's doing is it's requesting modern industrialization salt dust from the network. But really what it needs is the bewitchment stuff. That should be good. There it is. Okay. Okay, that seems to be holding up. We got a full little stack there now of stainless steel. Yeah, with the stainless steel, we can EBF it to get stainless steel hot ingots and then vacuum freezer that to get stainless steel. So I'll head down, I'll chuck another EBF in, get the ingredients ready for some heat exchange, and then we'll have a look at things together. Okay, that seems to be cooking up, giving us the hot stuff. And that needs to go into one of these things, which is a multi-block. Right, I haven't really decided how I want to set these things up in the long term, but maybe we could have what do we call these things? The blast furnaces. Maybe we could have the wall of blast furnaces there, and also if we need more of them, just mirrored here on the other side. And then we'll have another set of, what are these things called? Vacuum freezers. They can get settled in here. Okay, they're coming in. This thing is fired up. And there's our stainless. There it is. Okay, let's go. Let's see it come in. Okay, it's working. Slowly, but it's working. Okay, once this thing crafts, then this thing should be able to craft. And when this thing crafts, we'll have our digital circuits. The late game begins. Somehow we've done it. And that should have found its way into here. There we are, to make some stainless steel drills. Okay. Yeah, we made pretty good progress. There we go. Another quest down. That's cool. So yeah, I spared you guys a bit of a boring trip. Stainless steel drills. There they are. The recipe for those required us going through, processing all the stainless steel stuff. So we did that. Add in these advanced pumps and advanced motors. Again, that's just processed stainless steel. That was super easy. The pumps were a little bit more tricky because it required annealed copper wire. So we had to start processing annealed copper. That's basically just coming from a vacuum freezer. So we set up a vacuum freezer. We'll head down there in a second. And we set a polarizer up to make magnetic stainless steel rods. But that required this thing called neodymium, which I guess looks like the only way to get it is from centrifuging this stuff, the moissanite. But moissanite isn't yet coming in because, surprise, surprise, that's actually a product of the stainless steel drill. And then there are a few other easy things that I just threw down, like the AND gates, the NOT gates, the OR gates, and the op amps, which is just a requirement in them. We already had all that stuff online. That was super easy. And you are going to require stainless steel drills. Give that a lock, let more in. That should be working for us. Cool. Okay, and that'll resolve our moissanite dust situation. And this one gives us a pretty small chance every time of titanium, tungsten, moissanite, and platinum. Cool, there it is. Moissanite, titanium, platinum. We'll let those guys access the network. And then we should see that moissanite coming up here and feeding this macerator. I think it already happened, did it? Maybe. I think it's pretty quick. The only thing I was really kind of a bit concerned about was getting the polyethylene set up. But when I looked at the recipe and seen as we already had tiny chromium dust set up just earlier, I figured it wouldn't be too hard just to snake a little bit off that. And I just did a bit of a quick hack job here for ethylene. We're already making light fuel, so why not just combine it with some steam to get steam cracked light? You push that into a distillery to get your ethylene, and then you mix that with your chromium tiny dust to get your polyethylene, which is what you need to make the digital circuits. But yeah, with this stuff automated now, hopefully the stainless steel drills are making their way down here. They are, and that's like a whole virtual cycle now. The liquids kind of confuse me, but whatever, I can print it up later once I figure out what we're doing. Right, so let's put our MI guidebook away for the time being and head back over here to this little setup. Yeah, cause why not push a little bit further into Spectrum and get ourselves this final kind of slack again memory advancement achievement thingy. I'm too much of a coward to try Experiment 3, but I do want to get the armor set that comes along with Spectrum, and I know it's kind of along here somewhere, so next episode, I think. But slack again, really mysterious. Doesn't tell you what you're meant to do. There's just a, like, mostly black and some grey looking memory there. And then you come along to the instiller. You look at all the recipes you haven't unlocked. Like, it looks a lot like that one, but I have it on good authority. And yeah, maybe turn away now if you want to avoid some spoilers. But I've got it on good authority that it's actually a boss memory. It also kind of looks like that one. Doesn't look like that one. So possibly either a Wither or a Ender Dragon. And I don't know why they're not showing up in the list. But let's give this a read, and you'll see it says, to remember the memories about a creature, you need its head, as well as its most beloved item and vegetal. Because I happen to have a couple of Wither skulls from our little friend down here, who I've turned off just for the time being. It's been giving us a bunch of cool blades. And, like, surely its favorite item would be the Nether Stars, right? I mean, what else does it drop? So it's like heads on one side, that there, vegetal in the middle. So it's the heads on the left, the vegetal in the middle, and the item on the right. So for instance, with the Wither skeleton skull, you use coal. Let's try that because it kind of looks like what we're after. Wither skelly skull, coal, vegetal. Well, now I'm just confused. Oh, it's 4 bits of vegetal. Right, I just had the wrong quantity. Okay, Wither skeleton memory didn't give us the quest. What if we tried it with this? Let's get Nether Stars, Wither heads, vegetal. Oh, maybe Nether Stars aren't its favorite thing. Maybe its favorite thing is Wither skeleton skulls, right? No, because what you used to summon it in. Maybe. Yeah, see, because it doesn't drop anything other than. Well, that's awkward. Okay, I'm just gonna have to try and play around here, I think, for a few crazy items. Wither roses. Ah, there it is. Okay, that kind of makes sense, I guess, although maybe possibly not. How is it I get the advancement, but the ritual hasn't started yet? Possibly it needs to be nighttime, although I haven't seen those kinds of requirements. Oh, successfully. You saw that, right? The achievement isn't for actually summoning the thing in. It's for failing to. Successfully fail to remember a memory of a creature too powerful to be resurrected. All right. Aha, you got me. Real funny, you guys. Kind of a little bit disappointed there. I was hoping we'd be able to summon in the memory. So yeah, I wanted to have a quick start on agriculture and check out some of these new blocks that are added to MI. But moon's up. Check this out, and I hope this isn't too spoilery, but you know this guy here? Let's grab one of them. I forget what they're called. Jade something. A germinated jade bulb vine. So these things, you see the uses of it. You can get something called jade jelly, which is, I guess it has uses we just can't see yet. Instant health, sure. We haven't got that yet. And unfortunately for immersion, I accidentally discovered how to get that in creative when I was testing out this whole setup. And it's easier than you think. Any typical Spectrum fashion, it's actually dependent on failing to do something properly. So you put it in the sun and it dies. That's when you get the jade stuff, I think. Oh, okay, it's dead. So, right click, punch. There it is. Cool, Demon Trifle and Jaramel Trifle. When you accidentally put one of the plants to strong sunlight, you found that it withered. Not only did this withered shrub leave you with a new bulb, but also this gel-like jelly. Unexpectedly tasty. You can cook it to get Jaramel. Right, there's our Jaramel. It's not... maybe REI is being a bit funny, but it's not letting me look at these recipes. But these things that you cook it into, the tarts and the trifles and stuff, they give you offensive and defensive like buffs. So yeah, maybe some pretty useful food. Speaking of food, we should start making our way through this agriculture quest tree. But rather than do it blindly just for the sake of, cooking some fancy delicious meals, some succulent meals, let's think about cooking in order to get the huge number of meals that you need for the Hell's Kitchen quest line, which is like a requirement to get Completionist. So I've done a bit of a spreadsheet, as I want to do, and if I can be bothered, I'll probably put that up on the screen right now so you can see huge numbers of crops are needed in order to get the 2,500 of all those different meals, and I don't want to do that by hand. I mean, that's possible, probably just a little bit of grinding, but that's a really boring way to do things. Thankfully, the botany pots are gone now, so we can't just kind of cheese these things in. So I thought what might be fun would be to find somewhere around here, maybe on these rolling hills I can level them out and have little crop fields. But in order to get all the seeds and the crops and the beans and the fruits and the nuts and all those kinds of things that are going to be required, I reckon we should look into getting this thing that was just added to the pack, which is called a growth chamber from Modern Industrialization. So I want to build one of these things, get like a stack of the fertilizer and the mulch, run through it, and then we should have our hands on all the different types of crops in the games. So that'll help us get started on the farm proper. I'll pull a steel plate in, clock, a working clock, that's pretty cool. This. Okay, there it is. And this thing is a multi-block. So I think what we're going to have to do is put it somewhere with some space. Whoa, that's pretty huge. The multi-block here. Okay, we need vivid grass, tree of transformation, a lit orange redstone lamp. And the vivid grass comes from probably planting vivid pasture seeds. I'm not sure if that spreads, but we'll grab 2 of them. And for this, we could probably just do it somewhere underneath the house here. Right here, perhaps. If we chuck it here, yeah, that ought to do it. And I'm guessing we can have 2 of them next to each other, but we'll worry about one first. It's going to require, I guess, items in, fluids in, and items out, and also electricity. And because it's MI, if we want to build another one, we should be able to share a wall as long as we don't put hatches there. So maybe let's put item output hatch there. That's a nice big one. Item input on this side. We'll just give it a bronze fluid input on that side with some water coming from here. This needs to be the vivid stuff. So let's plant that. Does that spread? Sure. Yeah, that spreads. Hopefully not too far. Hopefully it doesn't spread to the outside blocks. This orange lamp thing is... okay, not too hard. Lit orange redstone lamp. It's this guy. That sits in the middle there. Box that up. Okay, that's everything bar that little sapling thing sitting on the inside there. Which, and I've seen this, like, we could take a dead bush out to the queen bee, the bee queen, and she apparently gives you 29% chance for any sapling. But there are, like, a lot of saplings in the game. Dead bushes, easy enough to get. We could just get a whole bunch of ferns from grass and infuse that with Botania. I think the intended way to do it is actually through a little bit of exploration in the Twilight Forest. So let's go... oh, actually, got some power. Let's go do that in the Twilight Forest. Right after we get LV energy input. Connect that up to a LV steam turbine. Okay, now we've got the juice. Oops. Twilight Forest heal. Cool. Okay, yeah. It took me looking up on the Discord. And apparently these trees up here Coarse dirt, huh? These big trees sometimes have like little... There it is. You can hear the spiders. They got these little secret rooms, and inside the secret rooms are scary spiders, but also loot chests. And inside those loot chests is random stuff. So this one's no good. So that's not what you need. Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't tell you whereabouts the tree of transformation spawns, but the Wikipedia does, and people on Discord were kind enough to help. So I'll just fly around, see if I can't find any more of those little dungeon rooms on the top of these trees. Shouldn't take too long, and hopefully in no time flat we're going to have our hands on just a single one of those saplings. Finally, look, we found one. Well, all was not for vain, because we did manage to get a bunch of other cool trees as well, which might come in handy. You know what might be smart? It might actually be an idea to plant one of these things. They're just so rare, I wouldn't mind getting another one so we can have one spare, but... do I just risk it? I think I gotta just risk it. That's a lot of leaves. Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely get another sapling back from that. Right? I hope so. Otherwise, it's back to the drawing board. You're kidding me. This thing doesn't drop saplings? Oh boy. Well, it would appear like you don't get the sapling drops from the tree itself, which is pretty annoying. Alright, Queen, will you take these and give me some saplings, please? Tree of Transformation sapling. Thank you, that was much easier. Although I suspect incredibly rare. Yeah, so this isn't too bad. Just, I reckon if you've got the mana to spare, maybe save yourself the hassle of checking all those tall trees in the Twilight Forest and just come out to the Queen and do a bunch of trades. If we can break in here, now we should be able to put one of these in there. Right in the middle. Close it up and the texture snapped. So that's now working. Cool. And proof of concept. We'll put that on the input. It's doing its magic. And it gets more and more efficient every time. There we go. Okay. So every sapling in the game, we just got that. So we possibly don't need to get the mulch, but let's at least get the Croptopia fertilizer. And we'll feed in like a stack of them and hopefully then get our hands on all the seeds and stuff in the game. What was it called? A composter, right? Electric composter. Just one extra basin. There it is. And now no reason we couldn't just sneak it there. Once we get the initial crops, I don't think we actually need to keep on making this stuff. So tree fertilizer, wood pulp, and empty fertilizer bag. Okay, I'm seeing actually now there's probably a valid argument that you should automate this stuff. Yeah, or you can use floral fertilizer with some saplings or flowers or something. Maybe I'll look into doing that a little bit later, but let's just chuck that guy in, get that thing whirling up. And if I'm correct, it doesn't actually consume it every time. It's just got a chance. 33% chance to consume it. Cool, and then I'll start dropping things into here. Hopefully things that we haven't got yet. And hopefully with that we can complete our set. So let's just let this kind of tick away in the background and hopefully generate a whole bunch of crops. I'll probably chuck some more fertilizer in there as well. But that's unfortunately all the time we have for today. I thought I'd be able to get a start on the farm, but oh well, sue me. Hope you enjoyed it. Come back next time and we'll be setting up auto farming for all the crops that we're going to need as part of the Hell's Kitchen quests. Yum yum, sounds tasty. See you then.